Arirang Special.
Quite a lot of corruption in the organisation, quite a lot of theft, as is normal in organisations.
Some of those we were able to net are coming from the neighboring community on the northern part of the park, that is the Boran community.
As the sun begins to dip behind the hills, they form a single file and lumber slowly into the distance, lucky to be alive, but one of them will not live to see the dawn of the day. Side by side, the guardians of the wild are in the barren to patrol across 296 square miles of Aberdare National Park. Pain comes in the morning. Once again, the silent enemy was here to rob Kenya Wildlife Service warders of the most precious gift. This was the oldest and most friendly elephant in the park.
This is our president. Sasa wakiwa hivi kila siku, what can we do?
Propelled by growing demand of ivory in Asian countries such as China and Thailand, poachers are mercilessly killing elephants and rhinos. In the past 3 years, Kenya Wildlife Service has lost well over 200 elephants to human greed.
Is not only a source country when it comes to illegal wildlife trade products, but we are also a huge transit country. And the transit takes place, especially here.
Time is running out for the government to find a long-standing solution. Kenya's park rangers number just over 2,800, a paltry number compared to the vast scale of parks and conservation areas they need to protect from intruders. In an effort to combat new caliber of poachers, the Kenyan government recently commissioned a rapid response anti-poaching team whose mission has often been subverted by embedded poachers in the country.
Now, Kenya is facing soaring levels of poaching since put our wildlife, particularly the rhinos and the elephants, on the brinks of disastrous circumstances. There are serious measures which have been put in place to ensure that poaching is curbed in this country. Today, I want to be part of an experience of the guardians of the wild, the people who keep our wildlife safe in our national parks.
On this day, they are training on how to respond quickly to probable poaching activity. I will be with them as they seek to hunt down the criminals.
It's a change of tactics, because in the past, since the beginning of the year, they have been using firearms, particularly the high caliber firearms. But now they have changed time, and also the weapon is the use of now the poison arrows, because
This rapid response team will be equipped with all techniques to match the firepower of the modern poachers.
In the several recent incidences, they have been using heavy caliber firearms.
Reports by the KWS say that in the early 70s, the elephant population stood at an estimated 167,000, but in just 5 decades, it has plummeted to slightly more than 35,000. As for Stanley Irungo, a step closer to the elephants and the rhinos might be the difference between life and death.
Kama ni hatari, kama sio hatari, tuna confirm. Ya wanaume wamekava hiyo area vizuri kwa foot patrol, na wameripoti kwangu kwamba hiyo area ni nzuri, wameona wanyama.
I have no words for this.
In this elephant graveyard, history of greed is constantly written by every single ivory from the animals.
This is just part of maybe a quarter of what is out there. These are hundreds of elephants. Hundreds of elephants dead.
World leaders, philanthropists and conservationists are in Kenya to witness the destruction of 105 tons of ivory and 1.35 tons of rhino horns.
In 1990, 89-90, we were probably losing 3,000 to 4,000 elephants a year. Now, I don't have the exact numbers, but it's probably less than 500 a year. So it's much, much better. What has happened is a lot of ivory from other African countries, where it's perhaps has been easier to poach, coming through Kenya to the port of Mombasa, where it's shipped to China. So our challenge is not so much our own ivory losses, but the African losses through our port. We are a transit country.
We are a source country for some wildlife products that are traded around the world. We are certainly a transit country in ports like the port of Mombasa, and we are a demand country as well, as some of our population buys the kinds of products that destroy threatened and endangered animal species around the world. So we come here humbly as a partner in this effort to combat wildlife crime.
Over the years, the dirty business has thrived due to untamed corruption in the country. But this is not just about the beliefs of the people, it's about the survival of the keystone species. This is the story of colliding wars of rangers and poachers.
Poaching is an international network, and it seems as if politics also play a part. How big is this international web of poachers, and how does it injure Kenya in particular?
I'm not sure politics as a hand, but what I'm saying is politics is part of our life. In every aspect of life, politics is with us. Like any other society, you have criminals, you have people who may think otherwise, but with such people around, if they are caught, law will take this.
5 years ago, Professor Gatira led a research that trailed poachers right from Kenya to the Asian countries. His mission was to understand why poaching thrives amid its growing public protest against the vice.
I like your question very much, because your question to some extent does not involve Kenyans. The person who poaches in this country is maybe a Chinese, is maybe somebody from Saudi Arabia who is chasing the rhino horns. The crisis because it involves money. It is a crisis because it involves very strong government. But you see the question, and my question is here, is it difficult to trace where the horns are taken? Is it difficult for a government to do that? Do we know? If we know, is it difficult for us to have a dialogue with the country?
We want to work with them on sorting out the two and bringing those criminals who perpetrate the wildlife crimes against the iconic species of Africa to justice.
But even KWS officers haven't gone without a blame. It's been documented that corrupt Kenyan Wildlife Service rangers are killing poachers to cover up the officers' collusion with criminals slaughtering the country's elephants.
This is not the bottom up, this is the top down. Because we know where these rhino horns go. We know, and people know. There are cartels in this country who are connected. Okay? Actually, you can call them employees of the big foreign governments.
The only way to fight this crime is a joint effort between governments, and especially those countries that have been mentioned of dealing with game trophies.
To support Africa's effort in wildlife protection, the Chinese government has already identified the protection of wildlife as one of the priority areas of assistance from China to African countries. And in the next few years, the Chinese government will contribute $10 million for that purpose.
If the government knows where these natural resources go, yeah, it is political. It's no longer a gun. It is no longer the warden. No, it is politics. It's networking, just like the drugs. And is managed by people with money. People with money who can buy to the level which I don't want to mention. They can freeze the courts, they can freeze any government, they can freeze the government offices, and they can freeze almost anything. They can also freeze the police and the KWS.
I know the government of Kenya is doing a lot in terms of fighting this crime, but with the market outside there, poaching will still continue.
They will now sign a memorandum of understanding on cooperation in forestry and ecological conservation.
And it doesn't stop there. Poaching is a complete organized crime with directors down to lawyers, doctors, security officers, and even subordinate workers. It's a deadly business. Honest rangers and poachers continue to play cat and mouse game in the parks. Perhaps surprising, though critical, example of this business involves wildlife trafficking, which has turned into a highly profitable and relatively low-risk business for criminal groups and possibly some terrorist organizations. As demand for wildlife products exploded throughout Asia, rhino horns now trade at a price higher than gold and heroin, and elephant tusks are sold on the black market for many more times more than the amount paid to the regional poacher.
Về cái sừng tê ấy, thì từ lâu đời của Việt Nam ấy, thì là các cụ nhà mình tức là hàng trăm năm trước đã dùng rồi. Bởi vì là những cái hiện tượng như là sốt cao, sốt quá cao rồi sinh co giật, rồi sốt cao sinh điên cuồng, thì ngày xưa thì không có những vị nào bằng nó cả. Nếu mà bị ngay và uống ngay thì nó sẽ cứu cái người bệnh đến 70%.
Survey shows that the price of raw ivory had tripled in the 4 years to 2014, reaching an average wholesale price of $2,100 per kilogram. These profits help fund networks that in turn fuel corruption and insecurity that threaten the stability of individual communities and entire nations.
We are hoping that even the years to come, like 15 years, the tourists will be coming and seeing animals, because the effort we are putting, we feel that we are going to win the war of poachers.
Now, the Wildlife Conservation and Management Act 2013 clearly outlines 3 key points that would help curb poaching in this country, especially with regards to ensuring proper usage, management, and conservation of our wildlife in the parks. But poaching is a life that is fighting so hard to survive. It is full of risk to topple an ancient culture of conservation and preservation that has since turned unpredictable, not only in Kenya, but all over the world. Poaching comes to kill, steal, and destroy.
Obarmark, KTN News.
The business of real estate is a dream for many aspiring entrepreneurs. It's often seen as profitable and therefore alluring to venture into. So what does it take to be in real estate? What is it like being at the helm of a multi-million company? We caught up with 49-year-old Ugandan national Charles Odere, the founder partner of Remax International Kenya franchise.
I stumbled on an opportunity. Remax International was looking for a franchisee in East Africa. I applied, and together with about 20 other applicants, I was shortlisted and given the opportunity to pick any of the 3 East African countries that I was interested in. I picked Kenya, where I am now the master franchisee. You can call me the founder partner or founder shareholder for Remax in Kenya.
Charles Odere, a trained lawyer with a master's degree in corporate and commercial law from the London School of Economics, left his teaching career at Makerere University and delegated his 15-year practice in law to concentrate on his newly founded company.
There were a number of financial challenges, as I probably told you earlier. To purchase a franchise requires funds. To establish offices requires funds. To embark on any training program requires funds. We had limited funds. So what I did quickly, I spoke to my bankers, and my bankers were very happy.
With the option of choosing a country in East Africa, why did Charles choose Kenya?
Kenya, and Nairobi in particular, is what we would call the East African hub. And everyone is looking at getting a piece of the cake. And so I think that the industry is still young, in spite of the challenges that the country has faced in the recent past. I think there's still a future for real estate.
As Charles explains, the secret of thriving in real estate is in placing oneself in the market with a difference. Established 2 years ago, Remax deals with commercial, residential, and retail real estate, and thus the need to appeal to a diverse clientele from middle class to investors to corporates. To achieve this and ward off competition, Remax has a defining competitive edge.
Remax business model is a unique one. It's actually different from the traditional model. The Remax model is agent-driven. It emphasizes that the agent must earn the maximum commissions out of their effort. And our minimum commission split is 50-50. In developed economies, in developed real estate economies like Canada, the US, South Africa, Australia, it's very common for agents and brokers to enjoy a commission split of 70-30, 70 in favor of the agent. So why do I say that it's unique? It's unique in the sense that the traditional model pays the agent no more than 20%, and the broker owners keep the lion's share. In the Remax model, the agent keeps the lion's share.
After starting a business and stabilizing it, the other important step is expanding the business. Remax currently has its offices in Nairobi. What are Charles' expansion plans?
So far we have sold and opened 8 franchise offices in Nairobi alone. And our plan is to expand to other cities, especially regional cities in Kenya. So currently we have an office at Delta Corner, of course, here in Nairobi, Westlands. We have another office on Bruce House on Standard Street. We have another office at the Warwick Center in Gigiri, and another one in Lavington. We have other plans of opening up another office in the hub in Karen.
Experts say that the secret to the success of an organization is in the people running the organization. Charles understands this too well. He has prioritized investing on human resource by recruiting the best in the industry and also molding new talents.
Thanks for calling. How can I help you?
This, he explains, is how Remax has already outdone itself on the set targets in terms of expansion and profits for the 2 years it has been in operation.
Entrepreneurship to me means that as a young person, you're able to think about an idea, develop it. Having developed it, commit your time and energy to it and see it succeed. And it's possible. It's possible. I mean, I traveled all the way from Kampala to Nairobi to do this business, and I'm determined to see it through. And as Remax, we are always happy to assist any young person out there that would like to benefit from this model.
Like any other business, real estate business requires passion and dedication, as Charles came to find out. There are challenges, and the biggest one perhaps is that of total commitment.
Real estate business is a full-time business. Unless you're a trainee, but if you intend to do real estate business, you must devote all your time to it and nothing else.
As a parting shot for young aspiring entrepreneurs, Charles has this to say.
We do encourage that young people join our broker offices as trainee agents, or if they can't start right away as trainee agents, they join the mentoring program that we spoke about a little bit earlier, okay? So that within 6 months, their potential can begin to show. And I mean, eventually, they can become agents and probably even broker owners. It's good to seek employment, but not for too long. I think that it's good initially to seek employment to get some basic skills, but given this world of opportunities, I don't see why somebody should die an employee. I think that at one stage before you die, you should have established your own business.
If you have always enjoyed baking bread, cakes, and making pies, and also have many people who are always brought to your house by these goodies, you may consider opening up your own bakery so that you can start benefiting from this activity of baking that you enjoy so much. Meet Jane Njeru, a business management degree holder who bit to the call of passion and decided to venture into a talent and skill-based industry of baking. And now she can profess of the fulfillment brought by the simple act of actualizing her dream.
My name is Jane. We are at Sweetheart Cakes and Events, where we make the most delicious cake in town. Personally, I studied business management. I did not venture into cake. It came up like a hobby. I just started doing at home, kidogo kidogo. Then I realized it was a passion in me. So I would do a cake and look at it, and I will think, I can do better than this. So with time, I started doing it for my friends in the church. After some time, I started getting clients. Sweetheart is a company that started 2012. We have been in the business for quite some time. I got serious at least 3 years ago. That is when I really got into this business, and since then, I have worked seriously about the cake, and most clients have loved my work because I give it my best.
Warren Buffett says, do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. Jane is proof to this quote since her business started from her savings.
My first capital was from my savings, and that is what I started with. I bought the ovens. So I started the business with around 100,000, and with time, the business has grown. We have a turnover of around 600 per month, and we are intending to make it to 1 million per month. Yes, so we are working hard on advertising and making sure that our clients are satisfied. So that brings more clients for us.
Sustaining a steady cash flow is one of the many challenges small business owners face. It has now been 3 years and Jane struggles to keep her business afloat in the pool of the fast rising competition.
Some of the challenges I face in my company is competition, labor force, and sometimes even the capital. Because you realize it's a business that needs a lot of capital and a lot of time. And you also need to get the perfect workforce. Because if you don't have the perfect workforce, then you will disappoint your clients.
For you to run a successful business, you need to be humble enough to know that you're not better than anybody, but wise enough to know that you're different from the rest. Jane shares with us how the locality of her business has been of great aid to her.
Sweetheart Cakes and Events is located in the heart of Nairobi. It is very central and it has worked for us, especially most people who visit town, they are able to access us. We are at Campus Mall. It is opposite Central Police Station, which is very accessible for anyone who wants to order a cake from us. Bakery industry right now, everybody is doing cakes in their homes, everywhere. But one thing I have realized, you need to know your market. Because most people are doing it in the house and you're in town. So getting a client getting access to you, it's really easy compared to the people who are in the house. And again, the quality matters. The quality matters. So we are really looking on the quality, despite the competition that many people are doing their cakes in the house. Where we are situated, we are really trying to keep on the quality of our cakes, so that even when you buy our cakes, you crave for more.
Many experts agree that passion and trust are perhaps two of the most important elements of a harmonious, synergistic, and efficient work environment. A business that has trust amongst passionate employees is usually successful.
In my company, I have 4 employees, and the criteria I use to get them, they must have learned about cakes, and they are passionate about cakes. Not only learning, but they are passionate about cakes. And also, they must have good client relationship, so that when they go to present the cake, they are able to communicate with the client, and they are able to give them a good picture of our company.
One of the marketing strategies Jane has opted to indulge in is ensuring the doors of her business open early.
We open our bakery early at around 7 to 7:30 for clients to be able to come in and make their orders and see what we do. And also we use this as a strategy to market ourselves. You know, when you open the premise early, most clients, even those who want a snack for tea break time, they will get something.
And when Jane is asked of any future plans to expand,
we have plans to expand and have other branches, not only one, but many. But our biggest challenge is space. We are really looking for space, and when we get the space, we will be able to expand our business and knock at your doors wherever you are.
the bakery industry is quite diverse, and as an entrepreneur seeking to dive into this business, you ought to look out for your clientele, identify the need in the market, and strategize on how you will be able to sufficiently supply the demand.
At Sweetheart Bakery, what makes us stand out, we personalize our relationship with our client. When you come to our bakery and give us our idea, we make sure we meet your expectation, and not only that, we will deliver the cake to your doorstep, to your company. Even for wedding, we do delivery and the setup, and we also take care of your cake until the cake cutting ceremony is over. In the near future, I have plans to indulge myself in training. So I hope to open a school whereby I can impact the knowledge I have to the upcoming bakers who would also want to start up a business. And also, I would like to start a snack shop that only sells cakes only, because currently in the market we don't have a unique one. I would like to come up with an idea of bringing that uniqueness in the market.
A good decision is based on knowledge and not numbers. Jane has created an avenue where young people interested in this business can approach her for mentorship.
True leader does not create followers, but he creates even great leaders. In that regard, I also mentor young people who want to venture into bakery business. There is this particular girl I've mentored. She's called Lucy, and she's doing very well in her business right now. Once in a while, we meet together and I check on her, on the challenges she's facing, and I help her out. And that is what we call entrepreneurship.
As Nuland Bushnell would have it, a true entrepreneur is a doer and not a dreamer.